So I finally finished the tunnel portal here and over here. Hopefully you can see that in there. It's zoomed as far as it can be. And I put the incline starter in this section. So from here to here, I'll put right in here. I added more foam here to the top of this and get this kind of where I want it. And I put foam in here. I was originally going to do paper wads right here, but the problem was it took up too much space and it just didn't look right. So I cut out these foam sheets. It has a nice contour right here, and there's definitely enough land and stuff right in this area to be right by the beach. It still needs a little work. Okay, so this area over here, obviously this is where we put the road and the tunnel. This is where the bait shop is going to be. And I did have a contour in there. And again, I was going to do the paper wads here, but I actually like the foam better, where I can take the foam in there and shape it. Now I do have a contour coming up here on the side here. So I'm still going to be putting like a hill like in this area, and it's going to come down flat coming this way. And that section I showed you guys not too long ago over here, and it's as far back as I can go, I think. No, I can go further. So the section over here where we are going to have the bait shop, I finally put in some newspaper. Is it going to focus? Okay. I put in some newspaper wads, and then I put some masking tape over it because it wanted to pop up. So I think I got this hill area nice and smooth right in that section. So I started up the cliff wall up along this section where I'm going to be having this ridge, and I think this piece is obviously bigger than it needs to be, but that's fine. I can always trim it down, but that's sort of what's going to go there. And I still have about an inch all the way around to go. I decided to put in the rest of the road, so I put in some supports here and all the way up to here. This will be the main height of this section. And I put some more paper wads in here just to give more contours. I gotta say, this stuff that I've been using, these are the little road risers. They're Woodland Scenic. Woodland Scenic, they're called road risers. And look at their little pictures, how they show them. Like this picture, this is a pretty interesting picture. And that's a pretty interesting picture. And that one's a pretty interesting picture, okay? Well, that's sort of what I've been trying to do here with these things. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much I bend these or even try to do the hill like they show in there. They crack. They crack right in, like, let's see if you can, it's not focusing very well on it, but see where my finger is? They like crack like in these sections, like right here. So I had the same thing happen on this one I installed. It did crack, and I had to get fancy with the glue. I wanted it to kind of go up, it kind of is flat all in this section. I didn't want it flat here, but I had to glue it down from here to here because it started to break again in like that little section there. As soon as you start moving it around, it actually breaks in pieces. I thought it was going to help me do my hilly roads, and it does work. I mean, it does help do it, but the amount of places it has cracked. It's cracked there, it's cracked there, it's cracked there. I've had other pieces crack. So I've had several of these pieces just crack in half with very minor bends, even though you see what they do on the package, and I'm not even doing half of what they're doing, and it's cracking. So I'm very disappointed with that Woodland Scenic Road Riser thing. Shape. I've done a number of things this week. Now these levels, this one here and this one here, are not completely finished or necessarily the end shape it's going to be. They're very close. This is very close. It does go over a little too far over here, so I'm going to probably trim it down, but I don't want to do it quite yet. And the bridge is not going to be necessarily this high. It's going to be down about a 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to actually cut a notch in these pieces once I have them fully glued in, but I don't have that yet. this piece back here, and hopefully you can see that, that is actually the size I want it, and it's pretty close. There is a little bit of areas where it can be filled in with some putty or whatnot. This piece is a little large and needs to be trimmed down. It's right now going over the track areas, so it will have to be trimmed. And I also, in this back area, see where my hand is, I kind of want to have it slope down because there's going to be a hill here with a road. Down in this section, I was going to put access road here, and I actually had put one in here, and I had built all this up. Well, I really didn't like the way it looked. It was very crampy in there. So what I did, and hopefully you can see it here, I fully zoomed in, I am. So right here, can you see that little bit? What I did is right in this section, I put in some of that foam putty, that Woodland Scenic foam putty, and this whole section where you see my finger is all foam putty. It took several days for it to dry. It kind of built like a little ramp thing, and it's pretty smooth, but it's got a little texture to it. So what I've been thinking is I always wanted to put a parking lot in my cove area because I'm going to be having a beach there. And I was originally going to put it over here, but I was going to cramp it all up, you know. The beach is right here, and putting parking there. So what I've decided to do instead is to have like a little access road with a little ramp that comes down here, and I can park some cars down here, and this will also gain access to my boat landing and my boat dock. And then up here, where my finger sort of is, I can put like a little park, and it can have some people sitting on park benches and picnic tables and around that area. So I think it makes it look a lot better, and I was looking at a lot of different boat landings, doing a lot of research, and most of them are right next to a parking lot. So that's what I'm going to put here is a small parking lot. It's only probably going to be able to park up 3 or 4 cars. This water area. This is actually the last waterfall, so the water is actually going to be up here, so I am going to have to build up sort of a cliff here. And obviously for my bridge, which is over the top, we'll have also a pylon there, or a pillar. I don't see where they are right now. But I've also built up this ridge area. So this needs to go up one more. See where there's a hole there? So this needs to go up one more up here. I decided to do it with foam. I was originally going to do it paper wads. I've been doing some paper wads. I don't really like the overall look it's sort of given me for most of the areas. So I've kind of went with this. I didn't want to give it too much shape in here because I am going to put some plaster casting rocks on there. So I just want to give it enough room so I can put some smaller plaster casting rocks to give it more of a cliff wall kind of feel. And most of this ridge here, while there is going to be a road, like I said, most of it's going to be, sorry, the focus, try to focus on my hand, but most of this stuff in the rear is going to be a hill, and there's going to be several like little tiers of waterfalls, so it's kind of going to go with the landscaping of the road there. So as the road goes down, so will the water in that area. Obviously it's always going to be kind of lower than here, but there should be at least 3 or 4 tiers of waterfalls, and that one there will be the last tier waterfall before, and this will be just a tiny waterfall. It'll be like very, very small river cove area. So I kind of had to put these pieces in, even though I'm not finished with these sections, just to know where the waterfall was going to go, where the road was going to go, and whatnot.